Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this quite exciting fireside chat with Sonangol. We are still in Angola, and I'm going to now start our conversation with Mr. Osvaldo Inácio, Executive Board Member from Sonangol. Mr. Osvaldo, bom dia and welcome.
Bom dia. Morning.
We are going to get straight into the questions, and I think one of the interesting news that we have seen recently regarding Sonangol is the investment in gas, right? So we have seen the new gas consortium to new LNG carrier orders. So my question is how these projects are going to advance Angola's gas export ambitions while also meeting what we call the domestic and industrial needs.
Jocelyne, thanks for having me, especially because you're from Mozambique. And in Angola, we say Mozambique, our brothers and sisters from the Indian Ocean.
Right.
And we are on the other side of the Atlantic. So it's great to be here. On your question about gas, maybe if I can take 30 seconds to go back a little bit in history. We didn't have for some time a legal framework to monetize gas. And so the operators didn't really have an incentive to explore gas. And a few years ago, we changed the law to make sure there was a framework that will be business friendly for the operators, and this is where the new gas consortium really comes from. This is a consortium between Chevron, Azul, which is a combination of Eni and BP for the Angolan businesses, Total and Sonangol. And from an Angolan standpoint, the goal really is to have these dual streams. In one side, we obviously need the revenue coming from export of gas, right? And on the other side is to help drive industrialization, like the fertilizers plant that is under construction, under development today, needs lots and lots and lots of gas, right? And so the idea for the new gas consortium is really to kind of fulfill that dual mandate from a pure Angolan perspective. Obviously, for our partners in Angola, they're looking at it from a pure business standpoint, but it has Sonangol, and from an Angolan standpoint, that's how we see it.
Okay. And it's quite interesting how Angola is quite intentional, and they have managed to, to establish a proper framework so that we could actually advance also that stream. So going back to the traditional blocks, we have seen recently on the news the extension of the blocks 15 and 17. And my question to you will be, what do these deals mean to Angola's production outlook, right? And what kind of developments can we expect from these assets?
As you know, Block 15 and 17 are two of the most prolific assets in the country, right? So making sure we renewed those agreements is really to make sure we have predictability of production. We are producing today 1.1 more or less 1.1 million barrels a day as a country, and the idea of securing these renewals is make sure first we have predictability of a production outlook, and second, obviously explore opportunities to increase that production. So these two assets are really central to the Angola strategy.
Okay. Still on this, and one of the things that were mentioned during the Angola Oil and Gas Conference this year, Sonangol actually made a bold announcement that is now going to drill an exploration well in Block 24 in Kwanza Basin. So can we have an idea in terms of timeline, expectations? Because we are all quite excited. We were quite excited when we heard that in the conference. So can you please just share this idea in terms of timelines and what are the expectations from this campaign?
Sure, sure. Right now, we're working on preparing the seismic, the seismic work. The idea is to drill the first evaluation well by around December this year, and then I go ahead with full drilling activities from up to next year. So we putting a lot of eggs on Block 24 because there's the opportunity for us to see additional resources in the pre and post-sal segments of the basin. So it's a very important asset for us, and we're doing everything we can to meet those targets and timelines.
That's very great. As you can see, Sonangol is really working to make sure that they continue to support the existing production and actually they increase the production in the upcoming years. So moving a bit on the value chain, now talking about the recently inaugurated Cabinda refinery, the Lobito refinery that is currently under development. The question is, how is Sonangol positioning itself to add more value locally and also to support reducing the reliance on importing fuels?
Yeah, that's a key question. As I mentioned yesterday in another session, we have 4 priorities: upstream, petrochemicals, gas, and critical minerals. And the Cabinda refinery is within that petrochemicals pillar. Just to put it in perspective, it's the first refinery that was built from the ground since independence.
Wow.
So for us, is a very proud moment to have it done. It's phase 1 now done, and we're going to phase 2 as soon as possible next year. The production capacity, when those 2 phases are concluded, will be 60,000 barrels a day. But the cornerstone in our refining strategy is really Lobito. As you mentioned, 200,000 barrels a day of production capacity. We working through now all the details that are around financing, around modeling, and all of that. At the same time that the construction for the civil part of the project is ongoing. We working on attracting partners that can do the project with us. But with or without partners, the project will be delivered, and that just goes back to our ambition to be self-sufficient when it comes to refining crude into refined products and sustain the consumption in the country. The idea is to get to a place where we are refining up to around 400,000 barrels a day, combining Luanda, Cabinda, and Lobito. And that's a very important project for us. So we're putting a lot of effort in making sure it gets done.
Wow, that's quite ambitious. And to the audience you heard, they are looking for partners, and they are going to go ahead with or without. So if you want to be part of this huge development in Angola, this is your opportunity, right? We are almost up with the time, so just one last question, Mr. Osvaldo. Looking ahead into the next decade, how does Sonangol is planning to balance oil, gas, and the energy transition? What role will the company play when we talk about Angola's broader economic diversification?
We are an oil and gas company with the ambition to become the reference in the continent when it comes to integrated energy company. And we're making that journey in becoming an integrated energy company. As you are aware, we've been through a major restructuring process, and part of that, one of the outcome that came out of that process is a new division that we call gas and renewable energy. But from a strategic standpoint, the idea is really to leverage hydrocarbons to finance that journey into becoming an integrated energy company, right? We already producing energy today coming from solar, and we will continue investing in that.
All right, right on time. Thank you so much, Mr. Osvaldo, for your insightful points and perspective, and for sharing the ambition that Sonangol has. And to all the audience, please help me just appreciate Mr. Osvaldo for his answers and perspectives. Let's give him a round of applause, please.